What's up guys, recently the exotic glaives got a buff, which is they only require 4 range attacks to get a full shield charge. So in this video we're going to see if that helps them out and makes them worth using the slot, or if they still suck. So glaives as a whole now only require 4 hits from the range attack to get the full shield charge, down from 6. Which makes it so the full loop of using the exotic perk is now 5 ammo, 4 to get the charge and 1 to shoot the effect. And with the base reserves of the Warlock 1 being at 24, that means you can do it 4 times, up from 3. So a little bit higher uptime on the exotic perk. And now with glaive perks actually being in the game, but double reserves, that should help it out. But as you see, it only goes up by 1 per reserve. So that's a high price for only 2 more ammo. But now with 26 ammo, that means we can do the exotic perk 5 times, up from 3 before. So we definitely have more uptime on the exotic perk now, but there's still a huge trade-off when you run an exotic glaive compared to a legendary one. The first being you pretty much can't use the guarding part, which is arguably the strongest part of glaives if you ever want to use the exotic perk, and the fact that it has no perks on it outside of the exotic ones, so it's pretty much just a base glaive outside of the exotic effect. So looking at damage on Carl, we hit for just under 21,000 from range. In our melees, doing the full combo twice, it's going to take 2.6 seconds and hit for 14.5 thousand. And we look at the rate of fire of the range attacks, so 1 mag and then 2 mags, it's going to take roughly 7.2 seconds, meaning the DPS of 1 mag is 27.9 and over 2 23.3, which is really bad even for a special weapon and exotic. Definitely not good at all. And the melee DPS is actually higher at 33,000, so the infinite ammo of the melees is actually higher DPS than the limited range attacks, which doesn't make too much sense at all. So overall, the base part of the glaive itself is extremely weak and not really worth using. So more or less, the only trade-off is the exotic perk, which I still don't think has enough uptime or is really worth it on any of them. Just for like a comparison, if we look at the stasis sidearm, why does this infinite ammo primary proc its exotic perk in 1 shot, then has the ability to freeze a huge area instantly? Like, why is this infinite ammo weapon being able to use its exotic perk that often? But then on the other hand, with our limited ammo glaive, we have to hit our slow moving weak range attack to proc the exotic perk only 3 or 4 times over our entire reserves of our ammo. Like, it doesn't make that much sense. So still with the hunter one, I'm just never using that over a waveframe GL. I just don't think it is strong enough at all, and requiring 4 hits to proc it still is not worth the trade-off. And the same can be said for the Titan one. I think the Titan effect is just straight up worse than a Void 3.0 barricade. The Void barricade will block damage just like the exotic blade perk, but also give us an overshield. So I don't really see that being useful either. And then for the Warlock one, I think it has the strongest effect, but you can achieve the same result with Boots of the Assembler, which is exotic armor piece, and will free up your exotic weapon slot and you won't be stuck on a glaive. So I still think the glaives are definitely not worth the exotic slot. So what can they do to help them out? Well, first, the base part of the glaives just need to be way better. The range attack is laughable at how weak it is, or how slow it moves and how hard it is to use. It should be one of the higher DPS specials in the game, and I think the reason they're not is because of the fact that they have the melee attack and the guarding. So glaives are trying to be good at a little bit of everything, but forget to be great at any of them and end up being below average at almost all of them. Also, I think it's time to give up on the exotic perk being tied to the guarding charge. The fact that it's tied to the charge of the glaive makes it so you can't really guard with the weapon, which is arguably one of the strongest parts of glaives themselves, and 2, greatly limits the uptime on the exotic perk. I think it's time that they switch over to it being procced on kills, because even if, for example, if the hunter one was procced on a kill, then you consume your next shot for the wave effect. I still don't even think that would be worth using. That is how weak that thing is compared to just regular specials in the game. So yeah, I just don't know. I think glaives need to be buffed in general, especially the range damage of the weapon, and the exotic part of the glaives need to be tied to just maybe kill activation instead of tied to the charge. That way you can still use one of the 3 fundamental parts of glaives, which is guarding, while actually using an exotic glaive. But overall, they definitely need to change something up, because I think the overwhelming feedback from the community is that the 3 glaives all suck. So I definitely think they need to make a huge change to throw them like to the opposite end of the spectrum and make them maybe too strong and maybe dial them back. because shipping the first exotics of your new weapon type being this week is not great. And yeah, I don't really know what else to say. Let me know what you think about these 3 glaives and what you think they should do to make them worth the exact slot. That's gonna be it for the video. Like usual, thanks for watching. Catch us next time.